Long ago, in the heart of Igbo, where the sun kissed the lush green fields and the Nsukka hills stood proud, there lived a prince named Obiora. He was the first son of his Okonkwo, the great king of Umuoma, a kingdom known for its wealth and power. Obiora was as handsome as he was wealthy, with skin the color of roasted palm kernels and a smile that could charm the most stubborn elder. Yet, his heart was restless, for he had everything but love. One fateful day, during the annual Iriji New Yam festival, Obiora rode his horse into the nearby village of Amado. He sought to experience the common life, far from the palace walls that suffocated him with rules and expectations. As he wandered through the vibrant marketplace, his eyes caught sight of a maiden so beautiful that time seemed to stop. She was grinding millet with a rhythmic grace, her laughter as light as the harmattan breeze. Her name was Adaeze, a poor orphan who lived with her aging grandmother. Though she owned little, her spirit was rich with kindness and wisdom. Her dark eyes sparkled like the midnight sky, and her voice carried the melody of a flute. Prince Obiora was captivated. "Who is she?" he whispered to his loyal guard, Okachukwu. "That is Adaeze, my prince," Okachukwu replied. "She is from a humble family, not fit for royalty." But Obiora was not deterred. That night, as the village celebrated the festival with dances and storytelling, he found himself drawn to Adaeze's hut. She sat outside, weaving a basket under the moonlight. "Good evening, Adaeze," Obiora greeted her, his voice soft yet commanding. Startled, Adaeze looked up. "Good evening, my prince," she said, bowing her head. "You know who I am?" he asked, surprised. "Everyone knows the Prince of Umuoma," she replied with a shy smile. "But why are you here, far from your palace?" Obiora hesitated. "I seek something the palace cannot give me," he admitted. Adaeze raised an eyebrow. "And what is that, my prince?" "Peace," he said simply. "And perhaps, love." From that night, Obiora and Adaeze began meeting in secret. Under the ancient Iroko tree, they shared stories, dreams, and laughter. Obiora was enchanted by Adaeze's wisdom and her deep connection to the land and its people. She, in turn, saw a man beneath the prince, a man yearning to be free of the chains of wealth and status. But their love did not remain hidden for long. Word reached the palace, and Okonkwo was furious. "How dare you disgrace this family by consorting with a commoner," he thundered. "You are a prince, Obiora, destined to marry a princess who will strengthen our kingdom." "Father," Obiora pleaded, "Adaeze is more than a commoner. She is my heart." The king would not hear of it. He summoned Adaeze to the palace, hoping to intimidate her. When she arrived, dressed humbly but with dignity, she knelt before the king. "Do you think you are worthy of my son?" Okonkwo sneered. "I do not seek worthiness, your majesty," Adaeze replied, her voice steady. "I only seek to love him as he deserves." Her courage angered the king, but it also impressed the queen, Nneka, who had been silently observing. That night, Queen Nneka visited her son. "Love is a rare gift, Obiora," she said gently. "But it comes with sacrifices. Are you willing to give up the throne for Adaeze?" Obiora did not hesitate. "I would give up everything for her, mother." The next day, the prince declared his intentions to marry Adaeze, even if it meant relinquishing his right to the throne. The kingdom was thrown into turmoil. Many elders supported the king, while the younger generation admired Obiora's bravery. Okonkwo, realizing he could not break his son's resolve, proposed a challenge. "If Adaeze can prove her worth by completing 3 tasks, I will give my blessing. But if she fails, you must forget her forever." The tasks were impossible by design. First, Adaeze was to fetch water from the sacred Ogita lake without spilling a drop. Second, she had to weave a cloth as long as the palace courtyard by sunrise. Finally, she was to prepare a feast for the entire kingdom using only a single yam. Adaeze accepted the challenge with grace. On the first task, she prayed to the water spirits, who guided her to use a calabash sealed with wax. For the second, she worked tirelessly through the night, aided by fireflies that lit her way. And for the third, she prepared a magical dish taught to her by her grandmother, a soup so rich and satisfying that a single yam was enough to feed hundreds. When Adaeze completed all three tasks, the kingdom erupted in celebration. His Okonkwo, humbled by her ingenuity and determination, gave his blessing. Obiora and Adaeze were married under the same Iroko tree where their love had blossomed. The prince chose to live a simpler life, working alongside Adaeze to serve the people of Umuma. Together, they showed that true wealth lay not in gold or status, but in love that could break even the strongest chains. The end.